All right, guys. So I'm gonna make a video real quick regarding Metazoo 2.0 and my thoughts on it. And I mean, honestly, I think overall, what I've seen so far, I'm actually optimistic, cautiously optimistic, I should say, regarding the new Metazoo, the new ownership behind it, and sort of I guess, the expectations of the product itself that I can probably expect knowing some of the information that's currently out there. So I've been reading and watching and just kind of taking in all of the opinions and discussions surrounding the new product and how, it's very mixed. It tends to lean more towards negativity at this point compared to, positivity. And, not to be, toxic positivity or whatever regarding this, but I will be actually giving them a chance. Now, I do have distributor access. I will be buying a couple of cases of the booster box for base set, and that's kind of topic one. So I've kind of broken down, one, two, like I've got about six, maybe seven bullet points worth of discussion surrounding Metazoo 2.0. So I guess let's begin with point number one as to why I'm a little bit more, I guess, cautiously optimistic. I guess I'm more open to the idea of Metazoo 2.0 and trying it out as opposed to how I was before. So let's kind of talk about that. Okay, so I think one of the biggest complaints that I have seen, besides the artwork, we're going to get to that here in a little bit, but one of the biggest things that I've been seeing is people are complaining about the fact that the booster box went from 36 packs down to 24, as well as the MSRP of the box is 120. Now, people are saying, that this is ridiculous. They're pricing their packs at $5 a pack. Who do they think they are, and this and that. And then the other side of on the other side of the coin, we've already seen, people selling pre-orders for $80, $90 a booster box. And people were upset about the fact, like, oh, they're going to tank the product. This isn't going to be good, and this and that. And so just to kind of, shine some perspective on it, I guess, what's a pretty big card game that's getting more and more popular as time goes on? Flesh and Blood. What is Flesh and Blood's booster box MSRP? 120. What is Flesh and Blood's packs per box? 24. What is the price for Flesh and Blood boxes on release? $80 to $90 a booster box. And so this idea that somehow, because some sellers are already, selling it for $80, $90 a booster box, which, by the way, I've actually seen prices starting to go back up towards the $100 mark, if not a little bit more than that, at least in several different places that I've seen. And stock is kind of low in those places as well. So I don't see I guess, the big, I don't know, I guess, issue that people have been having with this. Keep in mind, Metazoo, like the OG Metazoo, their MSRP was raised from 100 to 140, if I'm not mistaken. But originally, they had made all these promises regarding the quality of the cards going to be going up, and they were going to be, printing in the US to avoid all sorts of issues with logistics overseas and whatnot. And that didn't happen, but they still raised the price. Their card stock did get better over time. I can say that. Their holos did get better over time, but it were still produced overseas, which led to the giant pre-order issue, which led to essentially everything that happened, them overprinting, etc. And I'm seeing the new Metazoo, the fact that they're printing with Millennium Print Group, no less, the fact that the card stock is going to be a lot higher quality, or it should at least be higher quality, and the idea that you even have the potential, and maybe it hasn't been confirmed yet, but textured cards, right? This this is, like, in my opinion, this is an okay price, and the again, MSRP is the suggested price. That doesn't mean that people are going to follow it, but if you look at Flesh and Blood, same thing. They have map pricing. I think map pricing is like $80 now. So if they do implement map pricing, I think that would be a good idea. But I don't see the issue of boxes being sold for $90 a booster box when we see that with a big game like Flesh and Blood. So, and again, this is just my opinion, and you might just say, like, oh, you're toxic positivity and all this, and I guess I'm just seeing it from the side of, it is supposed to be higher quality. It is technically cheaper than what the original MSRP of the OG Zoo was with Chinese printed cards, and you actually have a pretty good potential for crazy artwork on cards, crazy cool, like crazy looking cards. Like if you look at the Wukong card that they showed off, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was kind of cool. I wish the color palette was just a little bit different, but overall, it looks like a dope card, right? And so that kind of leads me to my next point, and that is the potential of the new rarities that Metazoo is coming out with, the potential for textured cards, and things like that. For example, there is nothing stopping this company from using original Metazoo artwork. We've already seen that in their trailer. They used like Cumberland Dragon, I believe, and they used Griddle Greaser Pete as well. Like the original artwork for those two cards is in the new game and the new layout, right? So I just kind of want to give you guys a picture, I guess. And this isn't I'm not saying this is going to happen, but the potential or the ability to pay homage, for example. This is another point that I'm going to be talking about here shortly. But the potential for these new cards and the new rarities and the new textured cards that are rumored, and just seeing those cards in person will probably change people's minds if they are higher quality. But talking about like the original artwork and people freaking out because they feel like the original artwork is what made Metazoo, and I agree, the original artwork is very important to Metazoo fans, the original Metazoo fans, right? And the fact that they're moving to a different art style, or they're open to different art styles, has kind of been a big shock, I guess, to most people, to most fans of the original Metazoo. But can you just imagine if they were to do something like what we saw? They used Cumberland Dragon and Griddle Greaser Pete. Can you imagine if maybe like one of the higher rarity tiers in this box set, or in future box sets? Can you imagine a full art Mothman OG artwork from Metazoo 1, full art, fully textured, higher quality cardstock, beautiful artwork from the original Zoo, kind of as an homage to the original fan base, while also keeping it kind of in line with the new, with the new design of the cards, or the new quality of the cards. Like, I don't know about you guys, but if we were to get something like this, and if they don't do it, that's a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. But if we were to actually get, kind of like sprinkled, cards in to pay homage to the original art, like to the original artwork of cards, they could be like higher rarity pools that you can pull, and it's just kind of like a little nod to the past and to the original fans of Metazoo, that when you pull something like this, you get really excited about as original fans. And maybe even the new fans of Metazoo will really enjoy that as well. Because, and this kind of leads on to the next point. The reason for such massive changes is because, whether you hate to admit it or not, the fans of Metazoo, of the original Metazoo right now, I mean, they've kind of dwindled, especially after the giant thing, with the non-fulfilled pre-orders. It really did damage the brand, and the small bit of people who are still left kind of rooting Metazoo on, it's a very small minority. And I know it sucks to hear it, but they are targeting a broader audience. They're trying to get out there and kind of appeal to a bigger audience, to for example, even like the game side of things, from what I heard, is now being compared to like Disney Lorcana, or what was it, like Altered, or I can't remember, but I think it might have been Lorcana, and it's all in a way to simplify the game, to make it accessible to people. And I think this point actually goes to point number one of the fact that the booster boxes are selling for $80 to $90 a booster box. More people will have access to purchase one, as opposed to paying $120, $150 a booster box, because they reduced the packs per box. But so essentially, we have to kind of look at that as well, right? Like the fact that by reducing the packs, they reduce the cost. By reducing the MSRP, stores and pack and rip and ships and all that, they too can kind of lower their barrier of entry to the product, which in turn will end up leading to more people actually trying out the new game, rather than thinking like, that's too expensive, I'm not going to do that. And I guess another point being here that I guess a lot of people I've seen mention was the fact that the company Metazoo, right, under GameCube Labs, they said that they will now be doing pre-orders, And I think people just kind of misconstrued what that meant. If you guys remember, the original Metazoo would take pre-orders on their website ahead of time. That was the main reason where people got burned, where they would pay the Metazoo marketplace website or whatever. They never got the pre-order in, and chaos ensued, right? So Charlie and GameCube Labs and Metazoo in general, 2.0, right? They're not taking pre-orders themselves direct to consumer. However, stores are able to get pre-orders from, because they're buying it from distribution, right? So I never saw the point of people complaining about that. That's pretty standard across every other TCG. Obviously, once they get the trust of people, then they will probably start accepting pre-orders on their own website, direct to consumer style, like Pokemon and all these other stores, or all these other TCGs. But until then, it seems like they're going to be relying on the distribution model. Now, and I guess this is another point that I've noticed with, the community recently. And I think it's really funny how we've kind of come full circle as Metazoo fans, where when Metazoo was first, introduced, people were just railing on us as fans, calling that a failure of a game, making fun of the artwork, saying that the artwork was trash, saying that the gameplay mechanics were dumb, that, I don't know how people can purchase this, and that it's just a knockoff of Pokemon and all this other stuff, right? And now the Metazoo community, after being shown, or I guess after this has been revealed, the original Metazoo community is now doing the same exact thing about the new product, and they too are on social medias attacking, or not. I mean, I don't want to say like attacking them, but like, they're going back and forth with other people on Facebook groups trying to say like, this is a trash game, this and that, you're stupid if you try to buy a box, or they changed everything, this isn't going to be good, the gameplay sucks, it's too similar to Lorcana. Literally a lot of the same complaints that we saw from from people outside of Metazoo when Metazoo was kind of doing its thing. We've come full circle, and I started laughing just thinking about that, because there were so many people saying the same exact things regarding the original Metazoo to Metazoo fans. And now the tables have turned, and it's the original Metazoo fans saying that to, Metazoo 2.0 and how they're unhappy with it. So we don't have data yet to see how, Metazoo 2.0 is going to do compared to Metazoo 1. The only thing I've seen is I've heard mentions online, on Facebook groups, on Discord groups, that the stores who are accepting pre-orders for Metazoo 2.0 have seen hundreds of pre-orders go through already. I don't know what that's going to mean in the end, but I guess it bodes well the fact that a couple of stores started off pre-orders at like $80 or $90 a booster box, and they've actually started raising the price back up to the 100 to 110, like I believe 105 or 110 is some of the higher end ones that I've seen. So I guess we shall see. We're going to play it by ear and see how it goes. But I think to end this video, and I just try to make a real quick one, I made I want to say 4 or 5 videos where I go on 45-minute rants. And so I finally just kind of condensed it down to these points to kind of get the point across as to what my thoughts really are. But the final point as to, again, I guess really the main thing that's given me that, security or peace of mind is the fact that GameCube Labs has the financial backing that the original Metazoo did not, right? They have, the VP of Pokemon at one point, basically, I believe he's the CEO or president. I think he's the CEO of Metazoo 2.0, right? You have Charlie as, I believe, president of Metazoo, and you have a lot of Pokemon executives who are working on Metazoo. You have even the game design person, I believe, worked on Pokemon as well. So these people know the industry, they know the business side of it. They have a game designer that's worked with Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of the peace of mind that I'm having as to why I'm willing to give it a shot. I mean, worst case scenario, if you are going to give it a shot, it's $80, $90 for a booster box. If you don't like it, you don't like it, right? But if you do like it and you start seeing, hey, this card quality is way better, it might actually make it for an overall, fun crack, pack opening. And finally, I guess the biggest reason the community is really upset is, or I guess one of the bigger reasons is the idea behind Metazoo and showcasing all these cryptids showing the little snippet of information of what the cryptid is, where it's located. All that has kind of been erased from the cards that we have been shown. I don't necessarily know if that will come back in different ways that we haven't seen yet, but we don't really have the full picture just quite yet. I'm going to hold off on any sort of opinion regarding that until we see. I think it's March 7th. We're supposed to see some more information regarding the 2.0 and what to expect. But there's nothing stopping them from, again, doing something like a throwback to the original Metazoo with some of the original artwork. Like, again, I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to hopefully one day see is a full art textured Mothman with the original artwork, with that watercolor background that looked really nice, that really drew in a lot of people to it in the first place. I think that would be really, really cool to see in a full art textured card, right? And so until March 7th, so far, my opinion on it is I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to open up a couple boxes. I got a couple cases coming in. But for now, I'm just going to test the waters out. I'm going to crack open the product, see what we like and what we don't like, and just kind of see any, like, some of the changes that we can expect over the following products and things like that. So I'm hoping that they have seen the community feedback. I'm hoping that they do compromise on. I think it was really nice and really cool to have all the information of the cryptid and stuff on the card itself. So maybe they can do some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of rarity tier where you can get that on a higher tier rarity card. I feel like maybe a full art card with, because it's full art, you have more space on the actual card. You can probably do the cryptid facts or whatever on there. Or who knows? I'm curious to see how they're going to do it, if they're even going to keep that feature. Because I do agree with what I saw online as well, saying like you're basically taking the cryptids, putting them on a card game, and then the identity of the cryptids are kind of lost, right? The only thing you base off of, the only thing that you can truly base the cryptid on is going to be the name on the card. So you'd have to look up the cryptid and go from there if you were interested. But those really cool text blocks that gave you that information, that was actually really nifty of the original Metazoo and how they did that. So I'm kind of hoping that we see something like that going forward. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna give him a shot. I don't like the Bigfoot. Like, let me end the video with that. The Bigfoot was no shade to the artist, but that Bigfoot looked like Johnny Bravo. Like, as soon as I saw it, I just thought of Johnny Bravo. So I guess we shall see how it goes, guys. You can say I'm a fool for giving him another shot. I've basically held off on any sort of Metazoo discussion for the most part for several months because I wanted to see how the new company would go about it. I've kind of sat in the back, just let it kind of play out, see how it went, because even though I did, get burned, it was nothing compared to other people of the game, like other fans of Metazoo. I only lost like $120 on the native streamer kit because by that point you could get the product cheaper after release as opposed to doing a pre-order through the website. So either way, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see how it looks. If they have textured cards and they look sick, I'll probably continue to open just packs for that. I'm hoping that March 7th, and I'm going to end the video with this because it's 20 minutes long at this point. I'm hoping that on March 7th, we do get more information on what to expect. I'm hoping we can at least see the product in a video because obviously digital cards don't look the same how they do in person, right? So I'm hoping we get some more actual card footage, like live action, whatever. I'm hoping we get some more information on pool rates. What can we expect per box, right? Can we expect like one textured card per box? Can we expect, whatever, every 2 or 3 boxes you can get like one of the higher rarity cards? Because, for example, Flesh and Blood does, I think it's like one legendary per case. So every 4 boxes, you get one legendary, right? So curious to see that and just kind of go from there. But either way, that's what I got. Let me know what you guys think down below. As soon as March 7th rolls around, I will try to make a video regarding it. We're a couple weeks out from then, so stay tuned.